Welcome, everybody. My name is Andrew Patricio, and over the last 20 years, I've been working with business owners, encouraging them, motivating them, educating them. And it's really interesting that, especially over the last 10 years, there are more and more tools that we can use that make it easier for us to work remotely. And really, nowadays, it's quite seamless, isn't it? You can be at home, you can be at an office, you can be at a co-working space, and you can still be operating your business. So what I'm going to share with you today are some tools you can use to work remotely. And I just want to remind you that this webinar today is brought to you by Citrix ShareFile, and they're sponsoring this webinar, and I encourage you to check out some of their services. So let's get this going. You know, every now and then you're working on a project and you need other people to get involved, and you need people to be sharing content and things like that. And Trello seems to be a great tool. I've spoken to a bunch of business owners that use Trello that really like it. The big advantage with something like Trello, it's easy to invite clients or people that work with you to like join a group. You can see the progress on a project. Each person can leave their own thoughts and their contributions. And the nice thing is it changes and it syncs in real time. So a great little tool. And it's free, or if you upgrade, it's about $10 a user. So really an affordable service for business owners. So if you're working remotely on the same project and you want to work with people, Trello is absolutely brilliant. Easy to use, affordable, and it's really going to help you. And if any of you have ever worked with software like this before, where you're working on a project, it's really convenient to have a tool like this, where everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what everybody else is working on, and there's no confusion. And these are the type of tools you want to be using that make it really effective. Imagine you working, somebody else working in another city, and be able to follow each other and see what each person's doing, which is really, really convenient. Another tool that I really like is a tool called Sketchboard. And this is really great, especially when you're doing things like brainstorming. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. You're working with a partner of yours, or you're working with somebody else in your business, and really you want to draw things. And if you're anything like me, I like thinking with a pen in my hand, so Sketchboard is absolutely brilliant. It's simple, it works, and you can work with somebody else at the same time. Or imagine, for example, creating a presentation. Let's say you were working on some slides, and you're working with 2 or 3 people at the same time. What you could do is you could all work on the same design and come up with some great ideas. So it's really simple, really effective, and you can brainstorm, you can create different tools. I was trying to think of something. Now I can't think of exactly what it is that I was thinking about. But you know, when you're working and you're thinking out a project, this is something you can do. And the really cool thing is you can get immediate feedback. And that's really what you want, is you want immediate feedback that works really well and effectively. And at the same time, everybody can see what's going on. So another great tool, works really well, very effective. Check it out. The third one is Google Calendar. I don't know if any of you like me, but I could never survive without my Google Calendar. And there are a couple of really simple features that I like about Google Calendar. And you know, there's a lot of calendars out there, so I'm not saying you have to use Google Calendar. What I'm saying, it can be a really convenient tool. So one of the things that I like doing is making sure that, first of all, I color code the different events. And if I'm meeting with anybody on my team, one of the first things I will do is message them and make sure they've got it in their calendar. The other thing that I use Google Calendar for, and I encourage you to do the same thing, is to set reminders. For example, when I've got to take my car for a service, when I've got to pay my taxes, when I've got to do my payroll, all of those things are set in my Google Calendar and make it really easy. The other thing that you can do is you can share calendars. So you can create specific calendars for specific groups. So if you want to only see your own calendar, or if you want to see your team's calendar, you can do the same thing. But I encourage all of you to make sure that you train your employees, first of all, how to use Google Calendar, and it's really not complicated. But just give them a couple of tips so they understand exactly how to do it, and it can be absolutely brilliant, really easy. And the other thing I like about Google Calendar is also you can attach sheets to it. So let's say, for example, you and I are working on a project. I need to attach an agenda, or I need to attach a business plan, or I need to attach anything like that. You can do it. So a couple of people are saying that you know, there are a couple of other calendars. I agree, there's lots of really great other calendars. What I'm saying to you is you've got to be using a calendar. I really believe we cannot operate without using a calendar. The other thing I like about Google Calendar is the fact that it's got Google Tasks. So on the right-hand side of your screen, what you can also have is all your tasks down the right-hand side here. So that's another feature that I really like, that I use Google Calendar. And again, the point here is that you don't have to use Google Calendar. What I'm saying is that Google Calendar can be a great tool, especially if you're working remotely and you want to manage different teams. Brilliant, simple, easy to use. The next tool that I really like is Workspace. So I don't know if any of you have checked out Workspace, but let's say, for example, you and I've got a client like that. They've got bases in different parts of the world. And what you're going to be very, very careful of is that people are communicating using different tools. So somebody's texting, somebody's emailing, somebody's using Messenger, somebody's using Skype, and it can get really, really confusing. So the thing about Workplace by Facebook, and this is a brand new tool, it's only been around maybe a couple of months, maybe not even that, but it's a very recent tool. And the nice thing about this is that it allows you to share anything. So you can use instant messenger, you can use voice, you can use video calling, you can have news feed features, you can have everything in one place. And the great thing about Workplace, at the moment it's free. So if you're working with people, you can share files, you can work with them, you can do a whole lot of things, and you've got one place. Because what I find is that when people are using different things, it really creates confusion. Actually, I deal with with different family members. You know, one I'll text, the other one I'll use Facebook, and that could happen in your business. Great tool, simple, effective, and it's free. And it's a Facebook tool. So check it out. Go to Workspace and check it out, and it could be really convenient for you. Imagine sharing a video about some ideas or something that you're working on. So check out Workspace, simple, effective, recently launched, and something that's free. Well, it's currently free. I'm not sure if they're going to be charging for it, but a great little tool. The next one is Google Hangouts. I use Google Hangouts on a regular basis. Let me tell you how I use it, and maybe some of you can do the same thing. So I coach quite a few business owners on a program that I run. It's a 5-week course that we run, and on a regular basis, I need to meet with 2 or 3 people to discuss maybe their business plans or their marketing plans or their online strategy. So I really like Google Hangouts. And the reason is that it's easily accessible. And that's what I like. It's in my email. I've got access to all these people. I can communicate with them. I can record the conversation. I can share my desktop. So really, really convenient. And the one reason I really like it is because it's right there. It's in my email. It makes it easy to communicate. And I think that is the key thing nowadays. There are lots of tools out there, but you want to make sure that it's the simplest tool to work with. It operates, it works, and it's accessible, which is something I'm always looking for. So Google Hangouts, for me, works really well. You can have one-on-one meetings. You can have 1-on-5 or 1-on-10 meetings. You can use video if you like, or you can not use video if you prefer. And so it's a great resource. And if some of you are not using it, maybe you can test it out. Again, ideally, if you're a Google email type of person. Here's another great tool. I just found this yesterday. I was doing some research, and I think this is really cool. You know, when you've got a to-do list, like a joint to-do list, and you've got a bunch of tasks, and you really don't want to keep asking somebody, you know, how you're doing with this or how you're doing with that. I've done this as a great little tool. What you can do is you can put all the group tasks on one list, and then as people complete the tasks, it gets marked off. So it's really great for small teams. Again, it's very, very simple, it's effective, and those are the type of tools I like working with. So let's say, for example, you're working with a web designer. You can use, I've done this, maybe you give them a whole lot of tasks, 20 or 25 different tasks that you want them to work on. As they go through the task, they can tick it off and you can see their progress. Again, it's a great way to monitor how people are doing. Again, very simple, very effective, and these are the type of tools we want to use. So I really like I've done this. Next one is Doodle. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. You want to try and schedule a meeting with somebody, and then it's a back and forth. First of all, they'll ask you, when are you available? So you'll give them some dates, and then they'll say, well, I'm not available any of those dates, and then they'll send you back some dates, and you have this back and forth of email, which is an absolute waste of time. So the thing about Doodle is that it simplifies your scheduling. So what you do is you allow people to go and check your schedule, you give them a couple of dates, and then they can just click on it and everybody can join. Really simple, really effective. So those of you that are doing coaching, those of you that have 4 or 5 employees or have people that work on your team and you're trying to set up meetings and it's just not working for you, this is one of the tools you can use. Again, very, very simple, but very effective. And Stephanie says, yeah, Doodle might be ideal for the co-working company to use. Again, these are some of the tools that you can use. It's free. Obviously, if you upgrade, there's a little fee, but it's free if you use it just for yourself. So for some people, this could be the ideal tool. And many times, I've wanted a tool like this because otherwise you're wasting your time moving back and forth. So Doodle is a great tool, very simple, very effective, and free. So check it out. Another one is Skype. You know, this is old and it's been around for a long time, but still something really useful. And one of the things that I find, especially if any of you are working with people in Europe, for example, it is very, very stable. I know, for example, recently I was down in Fort Lauderdale, and I have a client in Portugal that wanted me to run an event. We were going to use a webinar technology, but we thought, you know, maybe that's going to be a little bit complicated, and then we used Skype. And the way we did it is they brought all their staff into this room. I just logged on to Skype, shared my desktop, and then we broadcasted to them. So we broadcast, we put some speakers attached to the computer, and we used it. That was really, really simple. Again, it's been a tool that's been around for a long time, but it works very, very effectively. So if any of you are working with clients, for example, in Europe, and you're looking for an ideal tool, I actually think Skype can work better than Google Hangouts and even better than other tools that you got out there. I was just trying to think of one that we use. WhatsApp is one that we use sometimes, and I find that Skype is more reliable. The other thing that I use that on Skype is when I'm traveling, for example, if I'm in a country like Dubai or if I'm in, I don't know, Russia or any place like that, and I need to use the telephone, and then I will use Skype for Business, where you can pay for phone calls, and it's very affordable. So these are some of the tools that you can use. And if you use the Skype for Business, it's very, very effective. I know a lot of business owners that use it, and it works brilliantly. So Sylvia says, how does Adobe Connect, how does this compare to Skype? I think Adobe Connect is more for webinars, I would say. I've never used Adobe Connect, but I think if you're going to be working with larger groups, I think Adobe will probably work better. Skype works for smaller groups. I think if you're working with 10 people or something like that, I find that to be the most effective. But again, you know what, I would encourage you to work with the tools that are effective for you. If you find something that works, use that. And that is the key thing. So find something that works for you. And again, it's one of those things you can share the screen, you can record the event if you download an app, people can communicate with you, ask questions, and it allows you to communicate in so many different formats. And I think that's why I like Skype. Old, but useful, and it works. The other one is Insightly. I don't know if any of you are using a CRM or customer relationship management tool, but we should. Every one of us should be working with a tool where we can really keep all of our information. So Insightly is a free tool. You can obviously upgrade for a fee, but it's a free tool starting out if you're one person. And in Insightly, you can manage your leads, you can manage your contacts, you can list organizations in there, partners, vendors, suppliers, all in one place. The big advantage, again, is, which is a very common thing nowadays, is you have access to your database wherever you are. It is brilliant, it is simple, and it works. Also, you can integrate it with Google, so that makes it Gmail, so it makes it really convenient. So I would encourage you to check it out. You know, a lot of small businesses don't collect enough information about their customers, and we need this information so we can follow up. So if you're looking for a CRM that is simple, designed specifically for small business, go and check out Insightly. Diane says she's been using HubSpot CRM, which is also free. It's a great tool too. I've also checked it out. HubSpot CRM. And Tony says they use Zoho. Again, you know, I encourage you to use whatever works for you. That is the key thing. Use what works for you. And HubSpot has some great tools, so I'm confident that that works really well for you. Again, we need to have some tool, and I think that is the key thing. Whether you use HubSpot, whether you use Zoho or Insightly, I encourage you to get a CRM so you can keep people's information organized. So April asks, does this maintain email and meeting history that is available to all members of your team? Yes, that's the big advantage. It keeps the emails, it keeps the meetings, it keeps all the information about all your interactions with your customers. And that is one of the key advantages of it. Again, it's simple, not too fancy, but it works really well. Okay, so check it out, and maybe that could use. This is another great tool, especially for those of you that need customers to sign documents on a regular basis. I know I have used this quite a few times. My accountants use it. When I'm working with the real estate agents that use it, it's a brilliant tool. And if you need a document signing tool, I think DocuSign is brilliant. It's simple, it's easy, and most importantly, it works. And that is the key thing. You want to find a tool that works. And Stephanie says, yeah, great to use when hiring remote employees to fill out the paperwork. I agree with you. If you're working with remote employees, this is a superb tool. Very simple, very effective, and you know what, affordable for small business. So for some of us, this is a perfect thing. I don't know how we lived without this DocuSign before, but a great tool, very simple, very effective, and I encourage you to check it out. Another one is Hootsuite. I don't know if any of you use Hootsuite, but if you're trying to post information onto social media on a regular basis, I would encourage you to check it out. So there are a combination of ways you can use it. You can download it onto your phone, or you can download it onto your onto Google Chrome. So what I like about Hootsuite is that I've got it on as a Google Chrome extension. So it's very, very convenient. Let's say, for example, I'm reading an interesting article on the internet and I want to share it with Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever it is. I can do it from my desktop. So it's brilliant. I encourage you to check it out. You can use the free version if you're a small business and you're one or two person business. You can use the free version. That's the version I use. And what I find that's really effective is that you can do it directly from your desktop. So you're looking at an article, you can use it directly. Diane's asked the question, it does not work with Instagram and Snapchat. I'm actually not sure. I must check that, Diane. I'm not really posting stuff on Instagram and Snapchat. I should be, but I'm not. And I can imagine maybe it could be a problem because you're using only pictures on Instagram. But if anybody else knows, you can mention in the chat column. But I think it's a brilliant tool, whether you're doing it from your phone or whether you're doing it from Google Chrome. And that is my favorite way to use it, is when I wake up in the morning, I often will use a tool called Flipboard, which downloads or searches the internet for relevant articles. What I then will do is I will read them on my computer, usually my laptop in the morning, and then I can share them directly from that, okay? So Stephanie says what she loves about Hootsuite is that you can schedule posts in advance. I agree with you. You can sit down for one day and schedule posts for the whole week, which is really convenient. Again, a great tool. It's simple. It allows you to work remotely. So you can start out, and let's say, for example, you employ a social media person. They can then use your password and start sharing content. Really, really useful, especially for those of us that want to be more organized. We don't want to be spending too much time on social media, but we still want to be sharing content. I think Hootsuite is brilliant. Simple, effective, and absolutely brilliant. The next one is Canva. I don't know if any of you use Canva, but I think this is a superb product, especially for those of us that have got no design sense like me. I'm the worst designer in the world, but Canva makes it really easy for me to design, for example, backgrounds for Facebook or for LinkedIn, or if I want to just create a simple graphic, add a couple of things to it. Canva is brilliant. You can use the free version, okay? So you can use the free version, which is what I use, or you can pay a minimal fee, and it's very, very simple. I'm glad that Nick has just started using this and you love it. I like it when I find tools that people use and they love them. I'm the same thing. I don't often design things. I usually have people doing this for me, but every now and then, every now and then, I want to work on something quickly, say it's a weekend, and, if it's really simple stuff. Diane says, I find Canva a little bit restricting. I use PowerPoint and design myself. Diane, you're probably a better designer than I am. That's why you find Canva restricting. But for me, I'm a paint type of person, so Canva is brilliant. When I'm just trying to create something, I'm trying to put a few letters on a picture, and I think it's really, really simple. So, Dan, you've done desktop publishing, so obviously this tool for you is like an amateur tool, but for people like me that just every now and then want to create something simple, this tool is a wonderful thing. Again, simple, effective, and it works. And I think that is the key thing, is you want to make sure that you use tools that are simple and effective. Obviously, if you're going to pay somebody to create designs for you, you don't expect them to use Canva. I'm talking about that frugal business owner that wants to create a couple of things themselves. That's who I'm speaking about. Another one is Waze. I don't know if any of you are like me, but when I do trips, when I'm traveling, I do quite a lot of seminars in different cities or different places. I think Waze is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've saved a lot of time, a lot of time using Waze. And the thing that I like about it, it tells you what speed you're traveling at. It tells you local stuff, and just the animation is just very, very simple. So if any of you are doing regular trips, actually, I've got to a stage now that even if I just go to local places, I will use something like Waze. And the reason is that, getting stuck in traffic, and Deborah was saying, it'll also tell you when police are around. Actually, I was thinking about that this morning. I was going on my walk, and there were the police stopping people, and I thought, you know what? If these drivers had Waze, they'd know exactly where the police were. So I encourage you to test it out. It's brilliant. It's simple, it's effective, and it's a great tool. So I use that on a regular basis. Like this afternoon, I'm going to do a workshop, and I will use it. And it works all over the world. Somebody's used the word BlackBerry. Oh, there you go. I didn't realize anybody still used BlackBerry, Diane, so that makes it very, very interesting. I use it on my Android, and when I'm traveling, and maybe this is a really good habit for any of you traveling, is I always have a charger in my car. You just buy an extra charger, and that's the way I do it. So, you know what? Again, if it discharges your battery, just make sure that you keep a charger in your car. I've learned my lesson. I will not travel anywhere without a charger in my car, so that works really well for me. So use Waze, test it out. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's simple, it's effective, and most importantly, it works. Here's another great tool. I don't know if anybody uses Shopify. And you've got so many options. There are so many options nowadays that you can use to accept payments. And I encourage you as a small business owner. I was speaking to a small business owner recently. They run a pub, and they said to me, no, they only accept cash or debit card, and they have one of those machines in their pub, and I encourage them to accept credit cards. It's 2017. Every single small business owner should be accepting credit cards. And there are so many tools out there nowadays. Shopify is one of my favorites. That's why I shared it. I had a whole lot of other options, and I know there's a whole lot of other options. I just love this company, and so that's why I encourage you to check it out. So if any of you are looking for a way to accept credit cards when you're at markets, when you're out visiting customers, whatever it is, you know what? Just pay the percentage that you have to, but make it very easy for customers to pay you. And I think this is so important, really is important. Make it very easy for customers to pay you. It's 2017. Make it easy for customers to pay you. Another great resource, and I think every single one of you, if you are even thinking about selling online, I encourage you to check out Shopify. I know a bunch of business owners, off the top of my head, at least 30 or 40, that swear by Shopify. It is simple, it is effective, and in a half an hour, you can be online selling products and services. And I've got a really direct contact to Shopify, and I trust their products. I know the owners. I've met them. I like them a lot, and some of their VPs. It's a great product. And I think it's 2017. All of us, if we in any type of retail, if we're selling offline, we should be selling online. So one of the questions here Diane's asked, make sure that you go to Shopify's website. So go to Google, type in, so this is what I encourage you to do, type in Shopify Pay, and you'll be able to check the rates straight away, okay? I encourage you to go and check it out. Sylvia, go and do your research, check it out, and they'll tell you what the fees are. I think most people are charging more or less similar fees nowadays. I'm just assuming, so I would encourage you to check it out. But if any of you online are ever thinking of selling a product online and you want to get up and running really quickly, Shopify is the place to do this nowadays. Tesla sell on Shopify, the New York Times sells on Shopify, lots of tiny, small businesses sell on Shopify. It's really, really easy. You can sell from anywhere. And this is ideally where you want to be, is you want to be able to work from anywhere in the world and still sell your products, and that is the key. You can sell books on there, you know, downloads. There are just so many options. Go in there and you'll check. Actually, their blog is probably one of the best blogs you will read. So if any of you want to learn how to get online and sell your products or your services, I would encourage you to go and read their blog. It's brilliant, it's simple, it's well written, great videos, great content, and it's a great resource for small business, because I've seen business owners get online in a couple of hours and they're up and running. Half an hour they recommend, they say. All right, here's another tool. Again, this is not free, but you know, every now and then when you want something really simple done, and I must emphasize, this will not replace designers. And this is the key thing. This will not replace your local designer. But every now and then you need a simple thing done. I'll give you a very good example. Recently, I needed to convert one of my books into an Amazon format. I went on to Fiverr, and it cost me $5. Okay? And I think that is something that you can use. Just be very careful. I mean, the design could be very simple. I know recently I asked somebody to design a PowerPoint for me, and the one person was really, really good, and the other person wasn't that good. So Deborah said, yeah, people not even paid minimum wage. That is not true, Deborah. I paid somebody for an hour's work $60. I think that's more than minimum wage. They call it Fiverr, but often people spend more than Fiverr. And I think that is the key thing. So understand that it looks like people are being paid minimum wage, but they're not being paid minimum wage. And I know some people, I know a small business owner, for example, is employing somebody in the Philippines to do graphics, and it works wonderfully. So I'm not saying it's the right tool for everybody, but every now and then when you've got something really simple that you want to get done, somebody that works remotely, I know I used somebody, for example, in Croatia to translate something into Croatian, and I paid her much more than $5, just so you know, but it was really useful. Another one, for example, is Upwork. I have used Upwork a bunch of times, and I think it is absolutely brilliant. I've used it for content, I've used it for design, I've used it for a bunch of things. So the thing that I like about Upwork is that the designers, the writers, the people are rated, and you get some really good people. We got a really good technical writer. We had a very interesting but very technical project that we didn't have in-house expertise, and I used a writer on Upwork, and he was absolutely brilliant. He was based in South America, And for him, this was great. Actually, in Venezuela, and if anybody knows the situation in Venezuela now, you know what, getting $20 is a lot of money. I paid him much more than $20, but I'm just saying to you that it can be very, very effective. Again, you as a business owner have got to make these decisions, but Upwork is a brilliant tool. Let's move on. Another one is Wunderlist. I don't know if anybody uses Wunderlist, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. So the thing I like about Wunderlist is that you have access to your list anyway. So you can share lists, you can have different groups, you can assign tasks, you can do all of those things. So for some of you that are using Google Tasks or something like that and you're happy with it, keep using it. But for those of you that are looking for something that is really unique, really different, and a great tool, I encourage you to check out Wunderlist. It's really brilliant, very simple, and a nice to-do list. I even like the integration, all that type of stuff. Great little tool. Check it out, and it can be really useful, especially if you're not as organized as you should be. So great tool. Let's speak about accounting software, because very, very often small business owners will say, which is the right software for me and which one should I be using? So what I decided to do here was to share with you for the most popular. And again, this is my opinion, so that's a key thing, that you remember this is my opinion as a small business owner and somebody that works with small business owners on a regular basis. QuickBooks is still the most common one used by accountants. So accountants use QuickBooks. So often when small business owners ask me, what accounting software should I use? I will say QuickBooks or I'll say Xero. These are normally the ones I recommend. I recommend QuickBooks or Xero because they're accounting software and it works really, really well. When small business owners are a one-person business or they're operating out of their home and it's a very, very simple business, I would recommend they use Wave. Wave is free. It's a free software that links up with your bank statement and then draws all the information into the software. And people that use it are really happy. But again, they are small businesses, and that is the key thing. They are small, solo type of businesses, whereas QuickBooks is software that can scale, and Xero is software that it can scale. So a lot of people, for example, recently have been saying to me that Xero is really good. Other people say to me that they love QuickBooks. It really doesn't matter what you use, they're really effective. One of the top-rated tools is a product called FreshBooks. This started out as a invoicing software. So that's all they did. They started out as an invoicing software, and over time they've evolved. They've evolved, and now they call themselves an accounting software, where to me, they're really a bookkeeping software. It is very simple. I have used FreshBooks for the last probably 5 years. I've used FreshBooks. It's really easy. It's really clean. I like it. It works well. And but if I was looking for an accounting software, I'd probably check something out. But for me, FreshBooks works well. I can download the information. I can send it to my accountant, and they can quite easily produce my financial statements. Sylvia says Sage. That's another option. Okay. And the only reason I don't recommend Sage is not because I do not like them. They're a big company and they've been around for quite a long time, is I have found, and maybe it's just these people I've worked with, that more people use these for. But Sage is also one. I know one of my small business owners that I work with uses Sage. Sylvia, you don't like them either. I'm just speaking about the ones that I like and that I know about, so those are the ones I'm speaking about. So That's the reason I shared that information. All right, so let me speak a little bit about Citrix. You know, every now and then you want to share information with other people, and Citrix ShareFile is a great tool for that. They provide a simple and secure way to send confidential files of any size, and I think that is the key thing. You know, nowadays we need confidentiality, so if you want to share files, it's brilliant. The other thing is it integrates with your existing email and document management systems to streamline file access, sorting, and uploading. It's brilliant, it works effectively, and it's secure. It offers a full suite of mobile apps that let you access files from any device, which is something that we need nowadays. I want to be on my phone, I want to be on my laptop, I want to be on my desktop, and I want secure access to all my files. It allows you to easily encrypt emails, which is key nowadays, and files for secure communication with clients. So I encourage all of you to go and check out Citrix ShareFile. It's a great tool. They're sponsoring our webinars today, and it's very affordable, and that is the key thing. All of these tools that I've discussed, all of these apps that I've discussed today are affordable to small business. They're either free or a low monthly fee. So go and check it out. So these are some of the great resources. So let me just finalize and summarize. There are a whole lot of tools out there. There are hundreds of tools out there that you can use to manage your business on a regular basis. Today, I shared with you some of my favorites, and for some of you, you're going to use these tools and you're going to absolutely love them. So what I encourage you to do is to go and check them out. Check them out, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then use them to grow your business. Because that is my wish for every single one of you, that you use these tools, you work from anywhere. And that is something that I really want business owners to do, is to be able to work from anywhere. And that is a key thing. And that is what I want for myself too, is I want to work from anywhere, and this is the reason I shared these tools with you. Also, I encourage you to go and check out Citrix ShareFile. They sponsored today's webinar, and go and check them out. So use these resources, build a successful business, and I'll be very happy. Thank you very much.